All right. So hopefully everyone got the memo on IG. I know it's been a minute. Mm. I actually put a poll up earlier on IG basically asking certain people whether if they wanted to focus on a tarot reading or if they wanted to focus on the circumstances that are going on in the world. And I wanted to kind of like give the opportunity to do that so that way everybody can kind of like come in and express themselves. Just talking about this whole thing with like, the riots, protests, 5G, whatever y'all want to talk about, and like how to find higher resolution from that process. What's good? Hi, how are you guys doing? What's good? Um, so basically, and I guess I can still use my cards too. You know what I'm saying? Just like kind of, that would be kind of nice as far as like being able to, focus on how we fit into all of this. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are confused. There's a lot of confusion out there about what to do. Um, there's some people who feel like they need to do something, and then there's others who are just like kind of in a state of confusion, etc. And I kind of feel like people need to be educated about surroundings and being a bit more tactful. I'm assuming probably not a lot of people going to be up in here. I'm perfectly fine with that because the information that I'm sharing is vital for those that need it. And that's how I'm kind of like looking at this particular scenario. So here's the reason why I'm going to tell y'all, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, did you guys have like the primary down there? All this other stuff, and registering to vote and all this other stuff. I guess they had primaries yesterday, I'm assuming. But the interesting thing is the person that I was speaking to was stating that they didn't receive their, like, I guess, mail-in voting or something. I'm not too sure. So I don't know if that's going on. Basically, if other people are having issues with receiving, their ballots in order to vote. Okay, like I think I've already expressed my position on why I do not. I'm not saying everybody needs to follow what I do. It is still your right to do so. But I just kind of have this perception of learning enough. I've learned enough. So anyway, um, I guess for like this whole situation pertaining to like 5G, right? This is what I was getting to. So everyone is still aware that we're dealing with a pandemic, right? So we have this pandemic going on. We have these situations back to back going on in our community. Um, and I'm just kind of like, I kind of feel like this is like this strange process of awakening, right? Um, and it's more so of awakening for both aspects of, minorities, people of color, all types of different people, just everybody, this real massive awakening of the truth, you know what I'm saying? Of how certain things are in a position of being more systematic than not. And that's why people need to move in a systematic manner. Does that make sense? Like, because usually whenever we see certain things, we're and I'm guilty of it too. I can admit that being guilty of like reacting. Then you just sit back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've been just like sitting back, like observing different things with this whole situation, and I'm just like, bruh, I already knew. I'm just like, I already know where all of this mess is coming from. You know what I'm saying? It's coming through the aspects of the vibration, the vibration that's being channeled around the earth, basically. I need someone like you to be my spiritual teacher. Oh, thank you. I know I need to do that more. Like a lot of people have been saying, like, yo, I would love to learn from you and all this other stuff like that, and like different information. So if you guys are down for that, y'all just tell me, like write to me, tell me, comment below, whatever, say things like that. And I'll try to like, you know, create little things for you to find yourself or for you to understand who you are. And I think that's the link that's missing. You know what I'm saying? But there needs to be an awakening to where Black people need to realize what this country was built on. And that seems to be the main thing that a lot of people are probably unaware of, or if they are aware, maybe there's a lot of people that are just in a space of trying to put blinders on what's real. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that. But it's a space of recognizing that there's an old transition happening. Okay, the things that we see with this particular riot, because I know that a lot of people are nervous, etc. There's a lot of anxiousness. But it's about eliminating this process of this old formality in this country that can no longer survive and thrive off of the premise of how they cast spells on this land to call it America. I'll just say it like that. Queen, your Patreon can provide spiritual coaching information too. Yay, I would love to do that. Absolutely. I'm probably gonna see if I could set something up like that for Patreon and see if I could educate people on different things. Hi, boo. But really quick, so just in contrast to that, people are going out rioting, they have their differences, etc. There's a bunch of, as I stated before, I said that there's an infiltration of supremacy that's going on, you know, in this country, in the police force, period. It's like very obvious, like it's so ridiculously obvious, it's annoying. But this old thought process and paradigm is kind of going through this transition of dying. It's like kind of being fine-tuned slowly but surely. But this is a time where we need to be mindful of what we demand as people in this moment. And I just kind of feel like, I don't know why I feel this way, but I just kind of feel like everybody's like, okay, yeah, we got, you know, the 4 men convicted, all that other stuff, like, yay, they're locked up, like, and it's nice, but I feel like there should be more. We should be demanding more from our society or from our government, even in comparison to the stimulus, or even in comparison to the crisis that's going on economically all over the place. Season of Ogun. Remind me of what Ogun is in charge of again? For the life of me, I can't remember. Forgive me, ancestors. I know I should know better. But I do have Yummy Ya here. I mean, excuse me. Never mind. Yummy Ya be watching over me too, but Oshun. Sorry. They both be watching over me. But anyway. So, it's just like 5G. Let's get back to that, right? They put out certain waves and frequencies in people, okay? Which has this aspect of affecting your respiratory system. If people were actually studying, let me say this really quick. If people were actually looking at the dynamic of, Ogun, the Orisha for war, strength, and protection. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Gots to be. Since I was in tears having to explain this to my son, ain't that something? Like, it's something to where we need to, it's like trying to wake up people. It's horrific. It's not easy. It's not easy. Regardless of what people say, oh, this is real, this is fake, this is staged, this is that. It doesn't matter. It's the premise of action that is perpetuating through the minds of millions of people around the world. And it not only happened there, it happened in Paris. I was actually watching the news, and there's actual rioting in Paris as we speak, because the police killed a black man, basically. And now they're rioting and going crazy over in Paris. I don't know if it happened anywhere else, but that's where I checked as far as like looking at what's happening around the world. And I think it's just a space of trying to awaken the people like, yo, you have the most wealthiest land in the world. And I'm not talking about here, okay? I mean, here is nice, but where you initially originated from has the most wealthiest land in the world, the most resources to present day, because now all these other countries are looking for resources to survive. And it's just about rethinking. That 5G stuff is putting out a signal, like I was saying before, just putting out a signal of energy towards people. And people are absorbing this energy within their cells and having a reactive effect. So let's just say this. Let's say that there's, a convenient billionaire who thank you, sis. I need to get a box from you, sis, for real. We gotta promote that box on here. Because I'm gonna start doing tarot readings and I wanna promote your soaps and lotions and stuff, because your stuff, I heard your stuff smell good from Maya, actually. Thank you, Maya. So anyway, but back to what I was saying. With the situation pertaining to absorption of energy, right? There's a lot of metals, a lot of adverse chemicals that are happening in people's body because of the things that we are consuming, right? So you have a mask on, you're consuming certain things, there's this virus going on, there's all these different things happening. Like now they're saying, oh, guess what? After all these people protested in the streets of Chicago, Denver, and all these other places that have hot spots for 5G, we're gonna see spikes in coronavirus, they're stating, with pool gatherings and protests, so on and so forth. So you have to be mindful of how the enemy operates. You know what I'm saying? And that's just all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Just being a bit more mindful before just going out there and doing something, reckless. So anyway, protesting is fine, I understand that, but in the aspect of how people move and just like, it's like bait and switch, you know what I mean? We have to be more mindful of that and have more protection. It's black people versus everybody. I want everybody to leave us alone. We'll mind our own business. Now we cannot mind our own business in peace. But here's the thing about it too. When it comes down to that, you have to understand that just because somebody has your hair texture and skin color does not mean that they down for you. There's some people that look like us and they don't love themselves. You see what I'm saying? They don't love themselves. Because I'm saying some real stuff even. And YouTube ain't finna be promoting no stuff like that. But I'm gonna still do my thing, basically. But there's some people that just don't love themselves, yo. They might look like you, but maybe their thought process and their family dynamic teaches them to hate themselves and to be proud of hating themselves, yo. Like, that's some real shit. I never thought that I would actually say that and come across that in my life. Like, but I can like reflect on meeting people that say that that they're this way, but they don't truly acknowledge and love themselves like they should for who they really are, or how they're supposed to, consume, basically. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I just wanted to give like a space for people to kind of vent and to share their feelings, basically, about all the changes that are going on. It's not about trying to freak people out. It's just trying to put some aspects of awareness to what's going on around us, and in order to make ourselves feel more stable, if that makes sense. I did take some time to like meditate. I was supposed to go on like around like 7 o'clock, but I'm a little after. But I was meditating, and I'm sitting there meditating, and then it's so crazy because I see all these people, right? Here's where this natural prediction starts coming in. I start meditating, and so I end up like falling like deep into just my energy, if that makes sense, or just into darkness. And then I saw this like visual that came up, and it was kind of showing me like the aspects of like, you know, the protesters in the street and everything. And then it was panning towards like, again, these towers, like these different towers all over the place. And then all of a sudden I see like a rush of water, like water. I don't know what we're like, I feel like it's more on the East Coast, I'm gonna just say it like that. But yeah, people have to be more mindful of like of studying themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like really studying. And that's not the easiest thing to do. Okay, let me see. The looting and the media manipulation needs to stop too. Speaking of that, well, Katrina, say how it is, huh? But yeah, speaking of the looting, speaking of all of that, like, okay, I understand. Okay, I can't speak for everywhere. I can only speak for the things that I've seen. I've seen things in Minneapolis where there's talking about police doing things to black communities. You see what I'm saying? And I guess like in return, I ain't even gonna front. Like, I mean, the hood kids ain't got nothing better to do after getting out of quarantine. They ain't got school no more. And they're gonna come up to the city. I'm sorry, grew up in Chicago, so they're gonna come up to the city and do some old goofy stuff, basically. Let me tell you, first of all, I gotta tell you, right? Because I was laughing because somebody took, even though I know it could be dangerous or whatever, but someone took a police officer's horse and was riding it through downtown Chicago. I was just like, oh my God. It's just the most, sometimes you have to just laugh through the chaos or find something that's just humorous through the chaos. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? You know what I'm saying? Like, but just be like, you know what? I'm sane. I'm gonna keep myself at home and woosah, like just well, my city crazy, Chicago crazy, okay? So Chicago, you know what it is. Okay, let me continue. U.S. Supreme Court ruled in, oh shit! A bitch need her passport. She gonna get that done today. Hallelujah. Okay, I'm sorry. I just needed to give it up to the great Lord up above who has taught me all these things in order to prepare myself to move forward. And with that being said, and I know that there's a lot of high adrenaline going on, okay? If you have, I'm speaking to my, again, American folks, people who have Caribbean ancestry. Please do your best to travel to that island. See if you can provide a birth certificate or proof of verification of your descent and travel back with your family. For the people who are not Caribbean and who are born in this country, here's what I have to say to you. Ghana, South Africa, I'm just trying to think of other places. Western Africa, South Africa. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Maybe even Europe if you have a European passport. But anyway, moving forward, I tell people all the time, with Ghana, all you have to do is just show up and say, I am a black person. Here's proof that I'm African. And they're gonna look at you and they're gonna say, oh yeah, you black? Okay, cool. As long as you have African descent, you can travel to Ghana. There's some people who are willing to fight. There are some people who are willing to fight. There's some people who want to fight. Let's ask ancestors about that. I think we should ask ancestors about that. I appreciate those who donate in the super chat, who donate through Queen Prodigy 369 via Cashapp. Queen Prodigy 369 at Gmail for PayPal, and also for emails if you want to hit me up for a $40 for 30-minute session for a reading. Queen Prodigy 0369 at IG. All right, done with the plug. Let me get to it. How does ancestors feel about us going through this process of, let's just see, of actually standing against the corruption? Let's not even call it a system, because it's not a functioning system. It's just corruption. There's nothing else to say about it. It's just complete corruption. And we as the people need to maintain order, because technically, as much as they would like to think that they've made so much money that they're unstoppable, the people are the true bosses. We're the true brains. We're the true operators of this entire functioning body called America. And I just think that people need to take their time and learn, okay? You all need to learn that you have value within yourself, and it's not about the matter of how much someone else has in comparison to fake dollars. Sorry about that, rubbing the cards. In comparison to fake dollars, okay? In comparison to people that think that they are supreme and above everyone else, okay? As the people, I'm just gonna say this, because I'm gonna turn over these cards. We have to, it's like, things can go either or, okay? That's what it's showing me in the past, okay? Asking spirit, talking about ourselves, talking about earth is our family, happy family, okay? So I'm assuming they want this to be in a space of unity, okay? Using your higher thought, okay? Which is Archangel Uriel with the crown chakra. Trying to use our higher position in order to help ourselves to clear our minds a little bit more before moving into a space of reaction. It's about planning. Even if you don't have all the plans together, do your best to plan a little at a time. Don't panic. Meditate, be still, plan, you know, speak to your ancestors, because your ancestors are here to give you the strength that you need, okay? They are here to give you the strength that you need, and this is kind of telling me that this is a time around August to where there's going to be a bit more organized community going on, okay? So they are saying that here's what's in the situation is the victory card. It is definitely possible to be victorious, but people have to work together. People need to work together. People need to be more systematic in thought. We need to get out of our egos and plan upon the objective of collective thought. That is the dominant factor when it comes to nature. In nature, you see, whenever you see birds flying around, for the most part, they have a unison direction. They all things in nature have a unison understanding. Very simple understanding. They don't put ego in the way, they subtract ego. Take your time to be in a space of meditation. Again, find balance within yourself. This is just kind of, I'm assuming what ancestors needs to say to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Do your best to find balance in yourself, okay? Don't try to catch up with the rest of the world. Don't try to do anything else. Balance out your life first before you can do more for anybody else. So taking care of yourself. Here we go. I'm gonna read questions after this, but I'm just want to go through this. So Archangel Metatron, being in a space of spiritual enlightenment using our third eye, okay? This is a space to where we need to find balance within our bodies, within our pH balance, within our health. This is vital and important, especially when it comes down to hydration, okay? I need a lot of people to, you know, grab a little something, sip a little tea, you know what I'm saying? Have a little smoothie, do something like that, you know what I'm saying? Hydrate your body, drink water. This is important because this is talking about getting to the balance of the door to personal healing and happiness. That is what the goal of that victory card is about, attempting to manifest this aspect of awakening ourselves, okay, as a society, okay. And it's not to completely disregard the idea that Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff like that. First of all, don't ever get it twisted. I always let it be known that your girl is a reincarnated goddess, and I'm definitely proud of that. You know, you're like my acorn. I mean, I'm assuming like that's how my pineal gland be, but whatever. Moving on. Why Oprah, Tyler, and many actors don't talk about that? Well then, because I think what it is that things are a bit more comfortable for a gauge of demographics. Does that make sense? If you have to look at things from a marketing perspective, you're going to look at it from a space of demographics. And I hate to say it like this, not to say that these people aren't spiritual or anything, but let's be for real. They are millionaires, billionaires, and money be on their mind. So I just kind of feel like they gauge themselves into a perspective of what is comfortable and suitable for for the people who cut their checks are looking for. Does that make sense? So it's not even about your opinion, and I hate to say that. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just this thought process of how this industry works. You know what I mean? For the time being, until you know things eventually change. But it seems like there needs to be a whole completely new energy. And I just kind of kept feeling that, like, I don't know, just be mindful in DC. That's all I'm gonna say. Be very careful in DC. A lot of people not talking, and if they are, yeah, they're very, very careful. Oh yeah, Oprah loves talking social injustice. Oprah took an oath. She rather stay silent and get the bag. Oprah took an oath. Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm going to tell you, I don't know, and I'm just going to naturally say this, but I just kind of wonder if, was Oprah actually, I don't think she was really doing all that, like backing Hillary like that. There's just a lot of changes going on, and I kind of feel like people are like on the go. That's all I'm going to say. And it's not primarily because of this whole riot situation. It's for something else, if that makes sense. It's for other things, basically, that are just kind of like bubbling up to the surface. Everybody's in a position to play, again, as I said it before, to play a role for the time being until its production is suitable. I'm just keeping it funky. Hold on one second. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, even with this, just kind of asking about the whole thing with Oprah, she's like, she's placing herself in a position to where she's doing what she feels is destined for her. And also she's kind of like acknowledging this aspect of, trying to see, like this King of Cups is in the past, but it just kind of reminds me of certain situations oh, okay, that makes sense. She feels that her contribution to supporting Obama should have been enough. That's how she is kind of just like showing me like, dude, I'm a boss in my own right. Yeah, I look female, but like I do my damn thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and here's the thing, it's not about, I hate to say it like this, because you would think that it would be about the people, and on some level it caters to the people, but it also caters to the people that pay her, you know, that are in her party. She's placing the 9 of Cups in a situation. You know, she's doing her best to just stay to what she feels comfortable with. Some people just don't have it in them to address things a specific way and be raw about it, you know? Younger people, they're probably just a bit more direct and raw. Ace of Wands, basically, she's just, again, in this space of taking swift action. I don't know what the hell that's about. But look at that, see? 6 of Swords. Trying to get gone before judgment comes. Before judgment comes. And then the Tower card. So I don't know if she's trying to take off in a plane, or it seems like a plane or something like that. That's what it feels like taking off in a plane. And then this Tower card is not a good sign for traveling, Oprah. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't know what's going on in this world. I'm just saying certain things now. Certain things happen that way. Y'all got it on camera. So let me see. She's a good friend with David Rockefeller. I'm assuming she's more of a fan of Bill Clinton than Hillary, because I keep feeling like her energy's around them. Does that make sense? Like, I'm assuming they all know each other on some level. But even speaking about that, it's just like, you know, there's a lot of speculation about so many different things. And I just kind of feel like certain people are doing their best to like save their own ass. And in the process of trying to save their own ass, like other people are like, where the fuck are you going? You're not gonna, you know. Yeah, it's just like, nobody gets out. That's all I keep hearing is nobody gets out. Once you're in, you're in. Nobody's out of this situation. So that's the reason why when you're looking at all these protests and different things that are going on pertaining to, you know, what we're looking at. They were talking about with the blackout, how everybody did this blackout completely made like this commercial move, obviously. I didn't necessarily do it because I don't really post that often on my page. I put out stories, but I don't do mass things. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. Like, I love people. I think that's like the most contribution that I can give, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, moving on from that point, like, basically they did that and it created this situation to where a lot of people are using the hashtag Black Lives Matter. And I'm assuming maybe people use that for communication or use certain hashtags for George Floyd, excuse me. And it's just like they can't see certain things in order to communicate with each other or keep track of what's going on in the streets or what people are doing. So it was creating a somewhat of an inhibitance, but we completely, you know, were overshadowed, or most people were overshadowed about the trial that Hillary is going through. And that's why I'm just kind of wondering, does Oprah know something? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm looking at all this shit like, this is interesting. This whole thing is interesting. Funny enough, somebody was talking about the whole Epstein trial, right? The documentary. I literally finished that documentary this morning. Yeah, finished it this morning. And it's so crazy because somebody was like, oh, did you know the documentary was released? And I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, I didn't know nothing about it, basically. I was like, there's a documentary? I'll be like, yeah, it just came out, blah, 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 and all this other shit. And I'm like, oh, you don't fucking say. Next thing you know, I'm doing this prediction, and everybody's like, where did he get all that money from? He definitely was. He definitely was, and it was a CIA inside job. It had to be done. It would ruin the aspect for both parties. And I'm just gonna say both parties, how I say it. I know that certain things are being portrayed a specific type of way to make one president look more heroic over another. I'm not trying to knock the guy. All I'm trying to say is that I'm not really into the whole political things or choosing one lesser evil over another. I'm just not really into it anymore. I'm just not interested. The last time I voted was for Obama simply because the nigga was from Chicago and my mama was in love with the man, and you know, damn. You know, it is what it is. You hope for the change, you hope for something, but you know, you're naive, you're young, you're just getting out into the world, you know what I'm saying? And then realizing that everything's one big ass advertisement. And then you're just like, what is real? You know what I'm saying? And then you have to go into yourself and figure out what is real to you anymore. You know what I'm saying? What feels real to you? And you have to follow that. So the documentary, back to that, I'm so sorry. basically, I said in the reading, yo, Wexner is like his sugar daddy or some shit. Next thing you know, I'm watching the documentary for the first time, and they're like, basically, talking about Jeffrey had an intimate affair with Wexner, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Mine is completely blown, and I'm gonna say this on camera, swear on my grandma my life, because people be thinking that I be making up stuff, and don't play with me. Not on my 99-year-old grandma life. This is real fact. So it's just real crazy. Just real crazy. Just absorbing like how sensitive I can be, or just adjusting to that. Wondering if people go through the same shit, But anyway, Queen, why black people is going against Obama now? I'm assuming because it's a situation pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein, the man that we were just talking about, but also it's in aspects of policies. But and I understand some aspects of policies that were kind of like, what's this about? But I do feel that, bruh, like when you're president, like your hands are somewhat tied. You know what I mean? People make decisions in favoritism of money. That's what you guys don't understand. Politics is based on the aspect of a lottery system with a collection of lobbyists. They make you think that your vote counts in the aspect of the quota of financiers' collective revenue to a certain percentage. But I'm not even gonna get into all that. I know too much shit, bruh. It's so weird that no one talked about the documentary. Ain't nobody really talking about that. I mean, I spoke about it. I did a video on it. That's all I can do. But we have to like kind of look at how this whole situation got up to this point. Again, we're dealing with 400 years of non-acknowledgement of slavery, non-acknowledgement of reparations that were promised to us, but then as soon as we became free people, right, or Americans in this country became free, the plantation owner decides to turn around and say, oh, hey, well, you guys don't have a place to go, but I can definitely rent out this land to you and you guys can make a living off of it and still pay me. Because now you work for me, right? Now you have a place to stay, right? Now you can rent from me. And I'm just like, dude, I don't think that black people understand like how powerful, how resilient, how long we've existed, how patient we are, how beautiful we are. You know what I'm saying? Everybody beautiful, all that other stuff. But I just really feel like we need to be in a space of recognizing that we can't raise a younger society or a younger generational culture, basically. We need to be in the space of saying that it's important for the people that understand that this is wrong and it's offensive and it's disrespectful, and if anybody's doing it in any community, it should not be done as a human dignity for each other and for one another. Each culture needs to hold everything accountable. Like, people have to hold each other accountable, and we need to demand more. You know what I'm saying? Rebuild everything in this country to where everybody has what they have, if they decide to surrender. Now, with everything that's going on, this is your choice. Whether if you want to deal with what they're going to give you, or if you're going to fight for what is yours, or if you're just going to say, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I'm sorry. Queen is the only one who talked about it. No CNN, no Fox, no Instagram post. Say what? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's out. I'm surprised that a lot of people aren't aware of that. Like, it's crazy. It is so crazy. Like, there's just a lot of things that, a lot of different information that people aren't getting. And I'm even looking at YouTube's algorithm. Even when you're looking at like smaller channels, they try to push the algorithm to like other mainstream things, like the Breakfast Club, or like something Clear Channel, like basically Clear Channel got their hand up in the algorithm. is what I'm noticing. So it's like I said, it's just all this aspect of business, but you know, you just live through it, do your thing, and just be fabulous and grow from it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate those of you that like the video, that subscribe to me, that share, you know, whatever. Those of you that have done readings with me, though, I love all of you who have put comments in my videos telling people that I'm the real deal after I had such ridiculous accusations on Instagram calling me something that I'm absolutely not, because I keep it 100% real, okay? But we're gonna talk about that later, because you know my hair real, everything real that you see right in front of your face. So it's kind of funny how we want to say that you fake, but you look real. But thank you for all those that support me, that really know my heart. I appreciate all of you. Queen, do you think it would be any changes after the protest stops? It depends. Let's see. How about that? Let's just shuffle up some cards, shall we? You have no clue. Thank you, babe. It scares, listen, my accuracy scares the crap out of me sometimes, and I'm not trying to be rude. I ain't trying to be like ignorant or nothing like that and be like, I'm bad. No, I'm just like, it just freaks me out. I'm just like, who is this person? Okay, so let's see if anything changed. It's a matter of moving into a space of internal reflection, healing the self, learning the self, and then making sure that you're taking aspects of legal demands to fight for your ancestors. That depends on you though. And this is exactly what they're showing me. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have, you know, a solid heart, but I think that people need to realize that it is yourself that needs to come to your rescue, okay? Because man holding a heart is positioned in the self, okay? So that means that you're like seeking this man to come sweep you off your feet, or this government. Oh my God, it's the government. They're gonna pay me my reparations and cut me a second, you know, stimulus check, hopefully, and give me free education and clear my debts because they're billionaires already and they know how to be generous. Let's hope so. But it's talking about reforming within yourself, okay? Understanding that in the aspect of financial constraint, okay, we are strong enough to survive anything. We can build anything. We are the sun, okay? So there's no lack of anything. We are creative people. There's no excuse for it. And I'm just gonna say it like that. No excuse, period. No matter what, there's no excuse, okay? Tracing back to our roots, finding the time when we found our personal healing and happiness through our ancestry, through when we had beautiful tribes and gold and history and richness, and informing ourselves within our past to heal ourselves and to find happiness in ourselves. Using the guides of ancestors, prayer, okay? Door to Spirit is talking about opening up the door to another level in consciousness, okay? Being in a space of understanding that we need to open up this door to connect with our higher selves, okay? Don't be too caught up in what crowds are doing, okay? There's certain people that do certain things. Question everything. And if you feel that it is the right thing for you to do, support it. But don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Be yourself, do you, and make sure that if you are doing protesting, if you're doing those things, that you are protecting yourself, that you are getting a police grade gas mask. I think that people need to save up for that and get that for themselves. You know, having aspects of providing safety tasers for yourselves as well, for people that need to protect themselves. And again, rioters, there's some people that go into these situations that are targeting Black communities, and there's some rioters that are just stupid and they burn shit down and loot and dumb shit, okay? For those people that are still doing the dumb shit, that are not the domestic terrorists in this country, I suggest that you target that energy and that fire towards, towards more of of a financial, digital way of attack, if that makes sense. You know, everybody likes to type and figure out stuff. The brains can do that. As far as the foot soldiers, you have to be more vigilant in your targets, okay? You have to aim a little bit higher, not going to the level of civilian, but more of a diplomatic standpoint, okay? But be mindful of your crowds, you know, don't be around stupid people. Be a little bit more tactful. Anyway, but you know, again, this is kind of like an aspect of once you come into making the decision of finding yourself, you are going to be in a space of finding a reflection that's going to be on your wave. You understand? Or finding people that's going to be on your wave. It's still a matter of making certain decisions, like when it comes down to, how can I say it? I'm sorry, there's too many questions. I'm sorry, I was just trying to go back to the last questions. It's just going down to making decisions about the demands of what we want and what we can accomplish together as a people, okay? Whether if we're going to choose the same cycle or if we're going to be in a position of actually living like we're in the 21st century and that we have common sense. This is about supporting aspects of our ancestors and our happy family, okay? This is talking about our ancestors and our happy family. This is the outcome. So at the end of the day, if we're deciding that we are going to rebuild our communities, it will result in a better situation. We just have to go through this chaotic energy because we're in chaotic energy. We're just kind of like in a rinse cycle, if that makes sense, or just like Earth's process of, you know, her menstruation, basically. Let's see. Can you please predict coronavirus after that's going to be interesting. That's the reason why I say certain things when it comes down to like being in the streets like that. And I ain't trying to like stop nobody from doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? But I just kind of look at infrastructure of life and I'm just like, you know, people gotta be careful, just hydrate themselves when they're out there or doing anything like that. In regards to that, again, if the news is telling you there's going to be a second wave, what do you think that they're going to do? Like, I'm sorry, what they're going to create, they're letting you know, oh, hey, we're taking your government money and we're creating a second wave. Enjoy that. IRS, Again, funny enough, I'm wearing this dude's shirt and I was actually promoting Riot because I just like so happen to promote, you know, Riot. I'm assuming everybody was listening to it. And they took it off of like Apple and like Instagram and a couple of other places, bro. Like, and the thing is that I kind of feel like people are just like, oh, you know, white people are like, oh, no, we have to take this song off because it's going to infiltrate all this chaos and all that thug music, you know? All that funk music is making it very dangerous. It's very dangerous to listen to this. Who is this? Who is this guy? This pineapple head guy X? No, we can't. We just can't do it for marketing, okay? It's just not a good thing, right? But they're not even listening to the words or the message of what he's saying. They're just hearing the beat. You see what I'm saying? So if you listen to the message of what he was saying, it's basically, he's sitting there saying, like, before you write, sit back and think about how hard certain people work to get theirs. You know what I'm saying? Are you targeting people within your own community that's going to be affecting you? You know what I'm saying? Stop and think about it. You know what I'm saying? And figure out who you're targeting that energy to, basically. Who is your target, right? Are you just destroying things because, I'm mad? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, and like I said before, it's not to say that, like, you know, these aren't white supremacists that are out there, but I'm just saying, like, for the smarter ones out there, the other ones that wanna create some shit, wanna revolutionize and like do some real shit, because this is what America is built on. And I think that we're approaching that time in this situation to where we're either going to submit and be treated like docile animals, or we are going to say that we are human beings with the right of onboarding this landmass and docking into this landmass from the spacecraft of our mother's womb, and you have no territorial right over my physical presence. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what you want to do, like how y'all want to do it. It's just kind of up to y'all. So that's how I feel. Oh, not all of them. Not all of them. But, you know, that's why people got to get smart. You know, that's what I keep hearing too. But again, it's all systematic. It's a systematic thing. And that's why I'm just kind of like wondering how many people are like, this is wrong, you know, all this other stuff. Are you going to really fight with the Black community or with the Hispanic community or whomever when these situations happen? And even within our own communities, as far as taking an aspect and a look at ourselves. How are we treating each other? How are we responding to each other? I think in some way we've kind of desensitized ourselves to rationalizing behavior that's caused from PTSD, okay? Yes, it initially started, you know, from the aspects of what we've been dealing with for 400 years, you know, for that 400 years, you know, period of time. And that PTSD is kind of being transferred from our ancestors to us because they're hoping that you can find resolution and healing what they couldn't fix. So people are just like, I can't believe this is happening again. But it's just like, do you understand the land that you are on and how they terraformed? Initially, we were already here with Native Americans, you know, or else I wouldn't look the way I look. But yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was doing our thing and we was trading goods with Native Americans, intermarrying, sailing back to Africa, coming back and forth. Like, everybody was doing their thing, you know, before white people show up. No offense, white people. You know what I'm saying? Like, things change. Ancestors do some crazy shit. Understand that. But it's about taking accountability and paying back your interest and your dues. And if that's not done by 9/11/2020, and then that's the first strike. The second one will be 12/21/2020. Good luck. That's all I'm going to say. Because you are dealing with some high ancestral forces. You understand? That's why these niggas is trying to build space rocket ships and shit like that to get the fuck off the planet. Because they want to keep fucking around. But they can't go anywhere, bro. Like, even if you get on a ship and you decide, oh yeah, we can get away. I'm going to buy my billionaire ticket and fly off into the sunset just in case some shit goes down and people want me in jail, right? Or whatever. Bruh, you're not gonna get, you're just not, it's not gonna work. So, it's interesting. There are Native Americans that are still alive, actually. But, nah. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of extinction, I heard that there's a certain type of people that only have 300 years left on this planet. Anyway, if people knew what this country was really built off of, they wouldn't want another president government ever again. Who are you telling? Oh my God. When I really dug into like learning about like American history, I was just like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like like I was always good at like math, excellent at math, you know what I'm saying? I could have been better at history. I just didn't put my effort into it because we had to learn so much about colonialism and bullshit instead of actually learning about the amazing things that Native Americans did or, you know, the amazing things that Black people did from civilizations prior to slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to research all of that myself, and I'm telling people to research that themselves to really put some things together, but to understand that we're living on a planet of free energy, you know? We're living on a planet of free energy. Thank you, like I said before, thank you so much for the donations. I appreciate that, babes. But we were living on a planet of free energy and clean water, clean air, plentiful. It's just that people, it's ego. It's just human beings and ego. That's the problem, is overcoming ego. And the only way to overcome ego is through stillness. You know, it is through stillness. Instead of doing a blackout on the internet, we need to do that within ourselves. You know, put the blackout within ourselves and close our eyes and to be still, because there's a lot of uncertainty that's going on in the world, and a lot of people are nervous about so many changes. But you gotta be still within yourself, because it's not your responsibility to figure everything out. Sometimes you have to listen to what, you know, even if you do it through prayer, you have to listen to what God's trying to tell you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to just be really quiet and just let God talk to you. And the way that God talks to you, God ain't gonna be the one yelling in your head. Yeah. No, God is the one that's gonna say it one good time and say it very calmly. That's God. Listen to that. Listen to that intuition. And I think that's what people are afraid of. We're so caught up in this apparition of physical reality that we ignore our intuition because it's trying to tell us something. Okay, let me read this. Yeah, we do need to come together, awaken. Queen, what did you see about the presidents? Are we stuck for another 4 years with this crazy man? I hate to disappoint you. And I've said this before, and I actually have a copy of me answering this question to someone in a comment. But when it comes down to the election, we are moving in the space of martial law, where it is possible for this shit to get locked down. Here's 3 different aspects to where this could affect us. There's either, if these protests get worse, okay, that's number 1. If things calm down, okay, whatever. The coronavirus is the second blockade, okay, or the second protection level of the wall for them, okay? The third one that a lot of people don't see coming are all of these other countries that are going to be seeking resources, possibly from the aspects of China and, you know, the issue with financial obligations, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm telling people, like, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. If you wanna go through it, all power to you. You know what I'm saying? But I know what I'm finna do. That's all I know. I can only do what's best for me, basically. If I was a millionaire, I'd probably, like, you know, try to build a whole yacht boat and then put people on a boat and do all types of things like that, but I'm not. So that means that everybody has to take accountability and do for themselves, basically. You know, that's all we can do, is educate each other and do for ourselves, and to support Black-owned businesses. You know what I'm saying? People go to Target nonstop, spend money on Target, Amazon, do all that other stuff like that. But support your Black-owned businesses. You know, buy your soaps from you know, other people. Buy different hair care products that aren't owned by Unilever. You know what I'm saying? You know, Darling Body is a wonderful soap and whatnot. Let me see. But who would win the 4-year election? I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm so sorry. Rambling on. Dude, it's like I said, it's 3 blockades. They're gonna extend all 3, because at this point in time, it's about everybody trying to expose each other's secrets from the other side, and they're all freaking out. You know what I mean? Like, they're all freaking out. So unfortunately, I feel like even if the vote happens to be a specific situation, that man can put the country in lockdown and sit his ass right there. And I'm just trying to tell y'all ahead of time. Here's another clue in this scenario as well, okay? His name is Trump, bruh. Like, his name is Trump. Trump. Sorry, I have my headband. My headband is all in the way. But yeah, his name is Trump, right? So if his name is Trump, it's the trumpets, right? It's broadcasted through your system. I gotta go, you guys. I have like something to get really quick, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.